Hey guys, my name is Rodrigo, and this is our first podcast. It's really about just having conversations, and I think the most important thing is kind of just answering the most difficult questions about product design. That's really my focus, and basically with Mike Vona here. Michael Vona has been working with us at Lime in the video and marketing, and a very talented guy. And obviously, if he was hired by Lime, he's definitely, we hold everybody to a pretty high standard at Lime, and I just wanted to have a conversation and give him an opportunity to ask some questions that, that we've kind of talked about in the past, and kind of just what other inventors would have on their minds. So, Mike, tell us, how old are you, Mike?
I'm 23 years old.
And you just graduated recently from?
New World School of the Arts.
Cool. Where is that based out of?
Miami. It's in downtown Miami, right near Wolfson campus, MDC College.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've been to that area down there a little bit. So what we were chatting a little bit about is just to give you an opportunity just to ask some random ass general questions, things that you might be wondering, or something like let's just let's put the most important questions out there, that if you were an inventor, if you had a product that you're trying to bring to market, what are those questions? What are the most difficult questions nobody wants to give you a bleeping answer to, so
absolutely,
with that, I'll let you take it.
Yeah, I think definitely a question that I would ask, and I think would be a pretty most common question to ask is, if I have an idea for a product, how much is the cost to produce that product?
That's a great question, man. I'm going to do the mic like this so we can kind of get better audio, because we're outside and neighbors doing the lawn or something, and cars driving by. But I kind of like this natural feel, and I want to kind of stick with it, so try that out for a little bit. But the cost. The question is, how much does it cost to get an idea to life, right?
Yeah.
Is that the question?
Absolutely, yeah.
So it depends very much on the difficulty, the size, the material, et cetera, right? So we need to break that down a little bit into what is it actually, what's the average project actually need, right? So if I design this lighter here, right, first we need to create the sketches and do our research. So actually, first we need to do our research and see all the other products that are on the market that are like this one. And then we want to sketch out something different, do our research, find out how much things cost, what materials, and find out what audience you want to design the product for. So it's not like we're just make a lighter. No, you have to make that thing for the audience that it's going to be suited for, right? That's going to be marketed to. So we need to develop it. We need to prototype it. So let's just break down the prototyping. Something like this, maybe, I don't know, man, has a lot of stuff going on here because of the gases and stuff, and so it might be somewhere around $20-25K to develop a lighter, and then once you go into manufacturing, right, now we're going to break it into the second part of what it takes to get something into market is going to be the manufacturing. So manufacturing is going to cost you the molds, right? If you're doing mass manufacturing, you have to do a multi-cavity mold. Mold is an interchangeable word, also called tooling, right? Is the parts that you'll use, the equipment that's needed custom equipment that's needed to make your specific product. And then you need to assemble that. So you have your manufacturing, then you have your marketing side of that also, which is, you need your brand, you need a packaging design, a website, an Amazon store, and then somebody to run and maintain this and create social media content. So that's another expense that most people don't really think about, and I think that's one of the downfalls of a lot of inventors or early stage entrepreneurs is that they don't really they need to understand that it's going to cost a lot more than they think, and it's okay because you don't need it all at once, but you're going to have to understand that and prepare for that, right? And you adjust the speed of your project depending on how fast you can launch the product, basically, right? So that's a good question, man. I mean, if I'm me right now, if I'm going to have an idea and I'm going to bring it to market, I'm not going to do that without the understanding that I'm going to spend $100 to $250K to bring this product or idea to market, at least, right? So, and I'm not talking about like the development, I'm talking about the whole thing, right? A bigger picture thing, right? Because we should be looking at this as a business.
From a start to finish kind of aspect.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
That makes
So, yeah.
sense. That makes sense.
yeah. So somewhere in there, 100 to 250. If it's a simpler product, you can get it going with maybe 50 or so would be enough to get you through some development and production, maybe a little bit of patenting. So, but there's always going to be marketing involved because you have to market your product for the life of that product.
Right.
You know.
Especially if it's your own product, you need to have some kind of investment to where you need all of those, different programs and different, like, all those steps to where you want to guide and you want to refine their product so that it's feasible, that it's able to be manufactured, and that their brand stands out, from all others, aside from all the competitors and all the other brands that are similar to their product. Because not everybody is going to invent an idea or a product, let's say, to where, it's going to be completely original. There's always something similar out there.
There's usually something similar.
Something close, similar
Yeah.
to it, or even almost exact. So it's really kind of just making their product stand out more so that it gets more recognition and it has a more of a functional look, feel, all of that.
Yeah.
All of that.
Yeah, we have to find the opportunity to design the product for that specific, you have to look at what your competition is, right? So maybe this company is really plain and this one's really sporty looking. Well, maybe you want something that's kind of halfway between those, right? So,
Right.
you have to see what your competitive landscape is first, so that you can then use that information to come in and take in future trends. A lot of times, in design, you see, designers taking a lot of inspiration from vehicles and the lines on cars and the lights and all this other stuff.
Industrial, yeah.
I mean, those are like the, typically known in industrial design world anyways, they're like the top end designers, and those are the trends. Those are the products that are going into market in, a lot of times in a couple of years. The thing about cars, it takes longer to get a product into market, but they are the ones that are really pushing a lot of times the styling edge of, the feel of that whole industry, and that trickles down to other products that we work on too.
Wow. Yeah.
That was a good one. That was a good first question, right?
Yeah.
That was one of the hardest questions. How much does something cost to do? And I think a lot of design firms are just, maybe they don't want to talk about it because they don't want to scare the client. But, also a client that's good for my company that I can actually help needs to have a budget, a realistic budget, so that they can actually design, produce and maintain this product, so that, because my goal is not to just to design the prototype and say, okay, here you go, bye. Right? My focus is to help you throughout the whole process, because it's not an easy process. There's a lot of steps, and we've done it so many times that it's we've done it enough times that we feel good, we're confident, we have a great team. And why would you do this alone, man? I mean, and I've seen this recently in other design and manufacturing companies talking about Tesla and Elon Musk. He doesn't go and take an invention and do it by himself. He's got a team of well-versed designers, engineers, electrical, electronic, app. I mean, right. So he's using the best. So why would you try to make something on your own when you can collaborate with a team like Lime Design or another product development company to help you through that process? It's really helps out, because our job is to help you see the unforeseen, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't know that after, I don't know. It's impossible for anybody to know all the steps unless you've done it a couple times. And even we're learning all the time and trying to figure out how to make things better, how to improve the process, how to add to the quality control, all that stuff. So it's an ongoing, education really on how to design. And the world is changing all the time, man. We got, import duties and all this stuff going on in China, and so we're always looking for the best way to still produce the products. My end goal is to ultimately to have a manufacturing facility here, but I think I'd have to, and I'm working towards that goal, but it'll need to have most likely a lot of more automation if we're actually going to do manufacturing. But definitely the next goal for me would be to have a facility where we can at least receive products from wherever they're getting manufactured, so that we can do the quality control, receive all the product, put it on the shelf, on our shelves until it's ready to be sent to the manufacturer or to the distributors, right? Or to send it to the Amazon store or whatever. So that's the next step that we want to be able to get involved in, is helping on that side of it as well. So I think that was a really good question. I got into a lot of other stuff there. It's, I'm so passionate, and I love what I do so much, man, that it's easy to go on tangents, because there's a lot of information to share from, a lot of different aspects of product development and creating a business. And this is information that I've learned that I'm trying to help other people be able to do it. And just follow. We're going to be doing more conversations like these. I'm going to be inviting other people to talk with us and just talk about difficult things to talk about, because
that are necessary.
Yeah, because if a client understands this information in the beginning, it makes it a much smoother ride all the way through. And if we can do it for less, even better, right? But at least we're trying to set the expectation, manage the expectation early in the process, so that they don't get sticker shock. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what it's about.
Yeah.
And yeah.
The most difficult questions are the most necessary to ask, I think.
Yeah.
Because then you're getting it up front, and you're getting the whole big picture thinking and the clear message behind it.
So, Mike, let me ask you, what's the next question we're going to ask, man?
So
we're going to cut this podcast, or we're going to cut this session, whatever, and we're going to try to shoot it in a different frame, horizontally. But we're experimenting with everything here, man. But so, Mike, here we go, right? Here's the mic, man. Hold on a second.
So another question. But if, let's say, somebody already had a concept sketch, they already had a 3D model of their product design or what they want to put on the market. Let's say, they either knew someone that started it for them, they kind of already had a little direction with it. Could you then guide them and direct them based on where they're at on that kind of spectrum?
That's a great question, man. That's a really good question, and we're going to pick that up in the next one right now, guys. So we're going to cut this one. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Whoever's listening, whoever's here trying to learn and expand your knowledge, we're going to pick it up on the next one, guys. All right, thanks.